Hello and welcome to the craft room here at Crafters Companion. I'm so happy to be here again. I think it's only a week since I was here last with our fabulous Harmony ink pads, but I'm back now with our Tri-Blend markers. So this is going to be all about alcohol colouring, which is truly something that is very close to my heart, because the first range that was ever launched with Crafters Companion in our colouring range Spectrum Noir was an alcohol marker, because I loved alcohol colouring and I couldn't get good results. More about that later. So many things to tell you about, and we're just going to take our time, have a nice time doing some colouring. No presenters chipping in, no having to rush, do part of a demo, one petal of a flower. We're going to do some lovely colouring, and I'm going to talk you through all of my top tips and techniques in terms of how to get the best out of your Tri-Blend markers now that you've got them home. Few things for you to be aware of. There's a little link at the bottom of the page. Follow that link through and you'll be able to see a special dedicated part of our website, which is all of my favourite products. And I've got a new gadget in the craft room where I can even show you how that works. Now then, if we just have a look at that quickly so you can see it working right at the beginning so you can get all of your details in. What you'll see is when you follow through to the link here, here it is, Leanne's Favourites. Have a little scroll down. What we need you to do is leave for us your name and your email address. And then what we're going to do is send you a download with some exclusive colouring content in. I'll show you that in a second. And then you'll also get an email, can you see here, with an exclusive discount code valid for the next 24 hours when you shop with Crafters Companion. Absolutely brilliant. So follow through to that little link. It's down here. And then you'll be able to leave your name, leave your email address, and we will send you an exclusive download, which I've got here. How fabulous is this? So you've got all of these fabulous things that we're going to be emailing you, so you can do some colouring in with the different tips and techniques that I've got for you in this show. And I'm actually going to colour a couple of these as well, so you can see how you'll approach them. So you're going to get those. But the really good stuff, we all like money off, you're going to get a discount code, so you can save some money on your next Crafters Companion purchase. That's really important. Let's cut to the chase then. What are Tri-Blend markers and what do you need to be able to do with them? They are absolutely revolutionary when it comes to alcohol colouring. So they're all in a little box like this. I'm going to show you my bag in little bits in a second, but just if we talk about the marker for now. If you get them all, they come in a little box, and then let's just take a marker out and have a little talk around what a Tri-Blend marker is. Now let me just... I need to put that right so it's all in the right way for you. Okay, there we go. So you see we've got a Tri-Blend marker, and this one is our dull green blend. There we go, I can get the words out. And if we turn it round and rotate it, you'll see you've got little indicators there for the light, the medium and the dark colour. That is what's really impressive about these markers. You've got one pen that has 3 different colours inside of it. So you get your perfect 3-colour blend right out the box, and I'm going to show you how to do that. Let's just see how fabulous these pens are, because we've got a little video that I can show you which indicates here how the pens are put together. So you can see you've got 3 parts, 3 different pens with 3 very different colours, the light, the medium and the dark colour. They all connect in the middle, the caps go on the end. You can see the whole pen is all in one. So essentially you've got 3 different markers all in the one case. How fantastic is that? Totally revolutionary. I don't know that that's ever happened before in a marker, in an alcohol marker. Why do you need 3 colours for a blend? Well, you need your light, your medium and your dark to build up depth, and I'm going to show you that. But firstly and foremost, what type of card do we need to be colouring on? Well, this is going to be in Leanne's favourite section for you. And what do we need to be stamping with? That's really important too. Now, I've got here some Neenah card, and Neenah is what we've been selling since the very first day we launched alcohol markers at Crafters Companion. And that's now almost 7 years ago from my memory. It's actually probably a little bit more than 7 years. I think it's 8. I really must check that out so I know for sure. I think it's nearer to 8 years. And when we launched those alcohol markers, now Spectrum Noir range, we launched them with Neenah card, because you get beautiful, soft blends with Neenah, and your alcohol marker moves in the fibres of the card, doesn't get soaked up or saturated in there. So the card is really important. Next, I'm stamping this little bunny rabbit, beautiful image there, with a finesse alcohol ink pad. Why is that really important? That's important because I've stamped it and then immediately I'm saturating the image, really colouring over the top with my alcohol marker. And what you'll be able to see is that this line that I've stamped is not bleeding, it's not blurring, it's not fuzzing, it's not smudging, it is going nowhere at all. There is absolutely no movement in that line. Really, really super important with alcohol colouring. Other ink pads that are out there that you may have used in the past, you would have to stamp it and leave it for 20 minutes, stamp it and use your heat marker on it, stamp it and leave it overnight, blow on it. You would need to do something other to make the ink set before you could go straight in with your alcohol colouring and be confident that it wasn't going to bleed, smudge and blur. You can be confident with our Finesse alcohol proof ink pads that will never happen. So this is absolutely the perfect ink pad for all of your alcohol colouring, not just our tri-blend markers, any alcohol pen out there in the marketplace, this is the perfect ink pad for, and that's why. So that's the first thing. You need the proper card and you need a good ink to stamp your image. Once you've got those two things down, then you can be confident that your alcohol colouring is going to come together really easily. Now I'm just turning this over to show you that when I've saturated that card with a little bunny rabbit, the ink has come through to the back, you can see there. And that is important. That's what you want to happen. With your card, you don't want it to be so porous that it just sucks, capillary action like cotton wool and water, sucks the ink out of your pen and disperses it all in the fibres of the card. You don't want that to happen, which is why a really good quality cardstock like this is super important when you're starting. So that's the first thing. Now let's start colouring in. Why are they really special? Now put that down there. I'll get organised in a minute. First things first, let's do a little poppy. I like the poppy, it's good. I've lost my ink, I've lost my spray again. Here it is. Found it. Found me spray. Now, a couple of other things to mention as well. I have got my iPad with me again today, so please do be sharing this. Let all of your friends know that we're giving away discount codes if they register their details for money off vouchers on your next purchase with Crafters Companion, and that we're also going to be sending some of my favourite downloads, some really lovely images for you to be practicing your colouring with. So do that, and then also leave me all of your comments and questions. If you've got anything that you've struggled with alcohol colouring, if you've got any little tips and techniques you would like, or if you'd like to know how to put colours together, whatever it is, whatever you've struggled with when you've been colouring with alcohol inks, let me know what that is, and I'll do my very best to help you answering those questions. We'll keep having a little pause. Now I've stamped my poppy, and then what I've done is take out my dark red blend pen. You can see there. So you can see I've got my dark red blend pen, and I've got DR1, DR3 and DR4 in there, which is dark red 1, dark red 3, dark red 4. Those colours match the other colours in our markers, so they'll match your Spectrum Noir, they'll match your graphic, and they'll match your Illustrator. So if you've got other markers, they'll all play together nicely. Then if I turn it round, we've got our light, our medium and our dark colour at the 3 different ends of the pen. If I take this cap off here, you can see I've got the light. If I separate the pen in two, there we go. Separate the pen in two, I've got my medium colour, and then if I take the cap off the end there, I've got my dark colour. You can see that there. So there's how our pen goes together with the two caps, as you just seen in that little video. I like to keep mine all assembled and just colour with one colour at a time, and we're just going to start building up the colour on this poppy to build all of that 3D dimension. You have to excuse my throat, I've got a frog living in there at the moment because I've had a horrible cold. So I'll try not to clear my throat so you can hear me. Now what we're going to do is start with the lightest colour, and we're going to wet the card. Ink blends better when it's wet, so you wouldn't work on a whole poppy head at a time. You would pick one petal, saturate the ink, and by saturate the ink, remember that means enough ink so that it comes through onto the back. That's with the lightest colour. Then what I do is go to the opposite end of my pen, take my darkest colour, add in the dark, which you can see there, so that's building in some of the real beautiful shade. And then I'm taking my medium colour from the middle of the pen, I'm dragging the dark out into that first layer of light. Notice how I'm preserving my highlight at the end all of the time. That's really important. And then when I've done that, I go in with my final layer of light, fill in the petal to the preserved highlight, and what I've got is a really beautiful 3D petal on my poppy, dark to light. And that's why a tri-blend pen is so important, because all three of the colours you need are immediately there for you to colour with, and none of the difficult work, which is choosing the three colours that work together, needs to be completed by you. We've done all of that. We've worked that out for you. We've said these three colours, when used together, will give you the beautiful, soft, blended result you need from dark to light. So you can see I did my light by preserving my highlight at the end. I've then done my dark into the shaded area. I then go with my mid-tone and I drag the dark colour out into the first layer of light. Then into my preserved highlight, I take my lightest colour, fill in the preserved highlight, and I've got a beautiful 3D petal on my poppy. And I would just continue all the way around doing it in exactly the same way. So light first to really saturate it, because you need wet card. Then we're going to go with the darkest colour where it would be dark, or where we would like it to be the darkest. Then the medium. And then the light. And that's going back out into the preserved highlight. Just around there. So you see I'm starting to build up a beautiful 3D poppy. And if we do this around here as well, so we'll go light. Now as I'm talking you through this, I've got lots of different images to colour in and show you the different results. And we've got florals, we've got cute characters, we've got face, and we've got skin, and we've got hair. The things that are really, that you find the most difficult, or that you tell me you find the most difficult. We're going to be practicing with all of those things. And then I've also got some images which are going to allow me to really practice and do some different techniques and some different ombres on there as well. Now then I'm just going to fill in. This is with the darkest colour. There we go. So hopefully you can see there how beautiful that 3D poppy starts to look by building up all of those colours. How we've got our lovely depth and dimension in there. And you would just continue all the way around on the poppy. Now I'm going to get a different image. Actually, I want to stamp it on the same sheet. Why not? Waste not, want not. I need to get my rocker block. Now don't forget to leave me all of your questions. If you've got any specific to alcohol colouring, if you've got your tri-blend markers at home and you've got some questions for me, or if you've got any of our other alcohol markers, this session's all about alcohol colouring and how to get the best out of it. The thing I really love about these tri-blend markers, if you're completely new to alcohol colouring and you've never ever alcohol coloured before, these are absolutely the place that you need to start, because all three colours you need to get depth and dimension are immediately in that pen for you. You don't have to worry about choosing the correct three colours. If I just take an orange, I'm just rummaging in here now, I'm going to take a blue. What colour blue is that? Ice blue, orange, and I'm going to get a purple. Lovely. You'll see what I mean by that. So up to now, what you would have had to do is think, right, I want to colour something blue. Which three blue pens do I use, and are they the right three blue pens? Is there enough difference in the colours to give me a 3D effect, or am I just going to be confident with it? With your tri-blend markers, all three of those colours are in this marker for you, so you don't have to do any of the difficult thought process. You can just be confident that these are going to work for you immediately you take them out of the box. So I've done exactly the same as you've seen me do before with the poppy leaf. Same concept, preserved my highlight, went in with some light, put in the dark, the medium, and then the little bit light on the end there. And you can see that it starts to build up that 3D effect really quickly and easily. So we've got light, we've got dark, we've then got the medium, and then we've got the light again. And it's really that easy to build up your depth and dimension on these little flowers. So I'm just going to continue round and do this one here, and then I'm going to colour one of the petals, and you'll be able to see the difference when a petal is coloured with one colour as to when it's coloured with the three that come in the marker. You'll be amazed. So there we've got a beautiful blue flower building up, and you can see it's definitely building the dimension, so darker in the centre all the way out to the light here that you can see very easily there. If I just take one of my colours from my marker and just colour one petal beside it, the difference is very obvious. That's just very flat one colour. You've got lots of lovely 3D dimension in here from the dark to the light. That's what your tri-blend markers will do for you. Now, if you're an experienced colourist, if you've been using alcohol markers for a long time and you don't feel you need a system that would help you choose those colours and correct the right ones for you, these markers are perfect for you, because what these will allow you to do is to be very portable with your colours. So you've got, in effect, with 24 markers in the range, 72 colours that you can take with you in just those 24 markers, and 72 colours to do all of this beautiful shaded work with. So if you like to travel with your colouring, if you like to take it on holiday, if you like to take it to the caravan, if you like to colour outside, if you take it to a friend, to a crop, to a group, to a craft class, whatever that is, then these markers are absolutely fantastic, because you're taking 72 colours with you in only 24 pens. That is absolutely fantastic. The other reason I love these is because I colour with them on my lap on a tray. So I'm just one of these people, I'm sure you're the same, us crafters tend to be, where I can't just sit and watch the television and do nothing, and my hands need to be busy. So I might do a little bit of embroidery, I might do a little bit of English paper piecing, I might make some paper flowers, something like that. But actually, now that I've got my tri-blends, what I'm finding is, on an evening, I'm sitting with a tray with my 24 tri-blend markers, because don't forget that gives me my 72 colours, and I'm colouring little toppers in and just practising different colour combinations and different images, things that I might not have done before. And I can do that because I've only got 24 pens. It's easy to have them on a lap tray, and I've got all of the colours there I need, and especially for a 3-pen blend like this, where you get that lovely depth and dimension on a floral, you've just got the colour there. I pick up one pen and I'm colouring that floral in all 3 colours I need, just by swapping from one end of the pen to the other, then going to the middle of the pen for the middle colour, and then going to the back where I started to the lightest colour. I'm able to build up that beautiful 3D dimension on that floral really quickly and easily, and that is something that you're going to be able to do at home as well. Now the same works with the green, and you'll notice the technique is the same. I'm not doing anything differently. Technique is exactly the same. Lightest colour down first, darkest colour after that into the dark area. Where would you like it to be the darkest? And I do saturate, I do get a lot of colour down. Then the medium colour, and then the lightest. And you can see I've got that lovely dimension on that leaf there as well. So easy to do. Lightest colour, darkest colour, and notice I'm always preserving my highlight on the end. I don't go right to the end of the little bit that I'm colouring. Medium colour, and then to the lightest again, round to the preserved highlight, and you can see how quick and easy this is. Just really start building this up. Now I'm interested to know, because I can see all of you lovely people there watching, and I can see you adding comments on. I'm interested to know, have you got your tri-blend markers home? Have you tried to colour anything? Share with us your results. What kind of fun are you having? Are you getting good results? I'm sure you are. And how easy is it having all of those colours worked out for you without you having to even think about them in your markers? It really does just change the way you look at alcohol colouring. And here's the thing, it doesn't matter when you pick up these markers, these 3 colours will always be exactly the same. They'll be static. You don't have to try and work out how to mix the colour. You don't have to wonder whether it's going to be too light or too dark, whether you're going to be able to get this blend happening easily for you, whether the 3 colours that you've managed to make are going to be the same 3 colours next time you try. You can be confident every time you pick up these markers that these colours are absolutely the colour you're going to get, and that you're going to be able to get these beautiful 3D results really quickly and easily. Now don't forget, we've also got my my Leanne's Favourites as well, and I'll just pick this up so you can see. There you go. And there you can see, look at that lovely dimension you can see on that orange and the blue flower, and the dimension, the curl on that green leaf in the plant pot there, and look at the depth on those petals on the poppy. That's just using one pen, one for the blue, one for the orange, one for the purple, one for the green. Really, really effortless, having your 3 colours in that marker for you as soon as you pick it up. There are 24 markers in the collection, but 3 colours in every marker means that you get 72 colours to work with, and you don't have to worry about matching the colour, finding the right colour, putting the right colour combination together. All of that hard work has been done for you, so all you do is pick up your tri-blends, pick up the purple, colour it, it's going to look gorgeous because the 3 colours are there, they're static, they're always the same. You don't have to try and work out how to mix or blend that colour yourself. It's just going to be perfect every single time you use it. Next, we're going to have a look at how to build volume in a plant pot. But before we do that, don't forget, you've got that little link down there. So follow the link, and then you'll come across to this page. When you come across to this page, you'll see there that you've got Leanne's Favourites. So Leanne's Favourites are all in there, and these are the things that I think you need for your alcohol colouring. And you can see there we've got name, so you need to leave your name for us and your email address. And then what we're going to do is send you out some exclusive colouring content, which I'll show you. And we're also going to send you a voucher code so that you can get some money off the next time you shop. See, I just followed through there on my favourites, and you can see here lots and lots of my favourites which we had on the last time with our Harmony range. And as you work through, you'll find all of the finesse ink pads in there, and you'll find all of the things that I've got today to do your alcohol colouring, as you can see. And there are other bits and bobs like the glass mat that I'm using, all of the paper and card. I do love that Sarah range. The tools that you need when you're colouring. Just follow through. I've done the hard work there, working out what it is that you need to get the best out of your colouring things, and they're all in my little favourite link for you. Leave us your name and your email address, and we'll send you out this exclusive colouring content, which you can see here. So these are some really, I've got them on this, shall I do them upside? I'll do them that way so you can see them. There you go. So you can, oh, I'll turn them around. Okay, there we are. And they're big sheets. I'll angle them as well. So I've got lovely, so look at that vase. How gorgeous is that going to be? We're going to have a start of colouring in some of these as well with our tri-blend, because you'll see how amazing these start to look when you've got them with alcohol colouring. And then when you've got these in the link, of course, you don't have to print them out full size if you don't want to. You can resize these down and make them more topper friendly. Or actually, this is just really mindful. This is the sort of thing that I sit with on my lap tray on a night at home when I'm colouring in, and I'll just finish with the whole piece. And I've just had a nice time. I've practiced my blending. I've coloured in a full image. I've had a nice time with it. It's just one of those really feel-good things that you can do with your markers. Right, let's have a look at some questions. See what we've got, see what you're all saying to me. Bring my little iPad over here, and then we're going to have a look at how to build cylindrical volume on an item, because it's really important. Easy to put those 3 colours down, but then how do you start to get things looking a little more 3D? We're going to have a look at that as well. So let's see who's joining us today. Debbie Private. Hello, Debbie. Welcome. Nice to see you here. Kelly, so happy to be here. Hello from Virginia. Hello there to you, Catherine in Virginia. Jane, excited to see what we're bringing today, so I hope you're going to enjoy that. Oh, hello from Deutschland. Hello back to you. I think I've said that right. Tell me if I haven't. I'm trying my best to be all international. Hello from a very soggy Cornwall. It's a very soggy Durham here too, Susan. Good morning from New Hampshire. Just lots of people saying hello. Now then. Hi Leanne. Sarah Holland says, hi Leanne, are you going to convince me that alcohol are better than the aqua markers? I've never managed to get results with alcohol markers, but I love my aquas. Sarah, I challenge you not to get a good result with tri-blend. Try them. Really try them, because you're exactly the type of person. I was that person way back in the developing spectrum raw markers ages ago who couldn't get a good result with alcohol. And that's why the whole spectrum range started. try with your Tri-Blend, and I guarantee you will get the easy results that you're going to see through the duration of this little tutorial session we've got. I guarantee it, because of the way we've put the markers together with those 3 colours. You don't even have to worry about it or think about it. You just colour it down and it looks beautiful. And just to remind you all of what that looks like, I've got a little video here. So you've got your 3 pens all in one. You can see how they separate out, and you've got your light, your medium and your dark colour all in one pen, which gives you that definition between the light and the shade in your colouring. It all comes together in that one marker, which gives you that 3D look and feel in your colouring, which is difficult to achieve, and even more difficult in terms of selecting the right colours to put together until you get really confident with that. Pick up one pen and know that it's going to work. Sarah, this was absolutely for you. Try it. I know you're going to get fantastic results, and then you're going to be completely addicted. And you know what? Nice to have something different from the look of aqua marker. I love the look of watercolour. I absolutely adore it. And for people who are just starting out on a colouring journey, it's the best place to start because it's the easiest thing to do. However, what we've done with the Tri-Blend marker is take away all of the hard stuff and make it just as easy as working with your aqua markers, but with that one pen. So give it a go. Right, what else have we got here? I'll have to watch when I get home. I'm at the doctor's, so I hope everything's okay. Good luck with that. That's the beauty of Tri-Blends. They make the blending a dream. Oh, that was from Spectrum Noir. Thank you, Spectrum Noir. It's very helpful of you. Where's the link for the content? It should be at the bottom of the screen for you. I'm so glad I bought these. Just learning to blend, so not perfect yet, but loving the pens so far. Well, thank you, Alison. Practice makes perfect. When you get your pens, just colour. And having that, filling in the details on the little page there that I just showed you earlier, and having that exclusive colouring content emailed out to you gives you something to practice on with your pens. And all of the shapes on there are fantastic. I'll show you that. Alison, I would like it if you've got refills. Be careful what you wish for. Awesome. Bitsy Bunny. Oh, yes. Bitsy the Bunny. I don't think he was called Bitsy. I think he had a different name. We did give him a name in the last Tri-Blend thing, and you know what, I've got that early onset age and person thing going on where now I can't remember his name. But Bitsy the Bunny will absolutely be making an appearance. We're going to colour him in as well. Why do peeps, well, I'm not quite sure what that means, but never mind, welcome aboard. Why do peeps come to the door? Oh, I see. Why do peeps, it's peps, but it's peeps. Why do peeps come to the door just as Leanne is starting? Never mind, I'm here now. How rude. Do they not know I'm here in the land of Facebook on a live colouring session? Just ignore the doorbell. This is far more important. So Claudia Brandle says, I'm clueless as to how to blend colours. This will make it so easy that even I can do it. You are right, Claudia. That's exactly why we put these pens together. For those of you who've been intimidated or scared by alcohol colouring, who've looked at the lovely results online and just think, I could never do that. You can with these markers, trust me, and I'll be showing you through the course of this session. What kind of cardstock am I using? That's the Neenah cardstock, Lynn. We went through that just at the very beginning. I'm learning the difference between all the markers and ink pads. That's good. That's what these are all about. What was the spray used on the stamp so that it sticks to a rocker block? That was our Stick and Spray Repositionable Adhesive. There you go. Stick and Spray Repositionable Adhesive. You can see that there. That's what I use to put all of my grey unmounted rubber onto the rocker blocks. And actually, when my acrylic and my polymer stamps lose their cling a little bit, I use this on the back of them as well. Doesn't hurt them. And then that just gets them re-tackied. Fantastic stuff for that. For all your die cutting machines where you've got a tacky mat, re-tackies the mats as well. So Stick and Spray is an amazing product. Can I purchase replacements? Of course you can. Love the pens, Leanne. Everybody loving them, so I'm going to say thank you very much for your comments so far, and we'll come back to that in a minute because actually you want to see more colouring, do you not? We're going to have a look at how to build some cylindrical volume. Now, just before we do that, I need to show you my bag. How amazing is this? I adore this bag, and this should be in the Leanne's favourites for you because it's very definitely one of my favourites. So it's got a shoulder strap. La la. It's got a hand picky up strap, which is brilliant. But then what it can also do is hold your markers so you can see you've got all of the beautiful colours in there. That's all 24 pens, and don't forget, for every one of those colours you can see there are 3 different hues of the colour. So you've got the light, the medium and the dark, so 72 colours in here. And then when you want to work with them, what you can do is just unvelcro the sides, fold that back on itself, and you've got a really lovely little easel of colours. If I just turn that around so you can see, you've got a really lovely little easel of colours there, so you can just select your pen and work from your desktop if that's what you want to do. Now then, you might be asking yourself, so why aren't you using the pens in that pouch there, Leanne, for colouring? Why are you using some more beside you? Because these aren't my pens. We've pinched them from somebody else at Crafters Towers, and I think if I was to colour up a storm with their pens, they wouldn't be very pleased by that. So I wanted to show you the bag, which you can see there, goes back together really easily as well for portability when you're travelling around with them. This is what I have beside me on the sofa with my lap tray with my colouring on. I just pick the pens out of it. Brilliant for moving around the house and for moving around the country. So that's brilliant if you've got your tri-blend pens and you're wondering what that is stood at the little side there. It's going to fall over now. Got to line it down just in case, because it'll all come crashing around my ears if I don't. Right, now I'm going to get a brown one. So let's get a brown pen out of here. This is like a box of chocolates that never stops giving. I've got 3 layers in here. Let's find golden brown. Should we do golden brown or should we do tan? Earth brown. Oh, see, this is why you need your bag, guys, because what happens is they're in the box, you're rattling around, you're looking for your colour. This is what happens. Where's my colour that I want? Where's my tan? Can't find me tan. Now I'm having to look down here at the names. Where's that? Is this it? Oh, there he is. So if you've got your bag with all your markers in, that's going to save you doing what I've just done, rattling through them and looking for a colour. So I've got tan here, and we're going to look at the 3D cylindrical volume building on our plant pot. So how does that happen? Really easily, and again, exactly the same concept as I've talked to you about before. So we're starting with our lightest colour, and what I'm going to do to build a cylindrical volume, to make something look like it's rounded in the centre, like it's got a belly, you would need to leave the white, this area in the middle lighter, because anything that's further forward is the lightest. Anything that's in the background is the darkest. So if you think this is rounded like this, the sides are at the bottom, so behind, and the front would be at the top, so that would be lighter, which is why you preserve your highlight in the centre of the pot. So we start exactly as we did before with the flower petals. We build up our lightest colour and we saturate the card. So that's the lightest colour there, and I'm getting a good amount down because wet ink blends better than dry, or wet card blends better than dry. And then I've got my darkest colour, and my darkest colour now goes over the top. I'm preserving my highlight in the centre all the time. So darkest colour goes over the top. Now notice when I'm putting this on, what I don't do is do a straight line here. It's quite ragged. Ragged will look more effective and more natural and allow you to achieve a better seamless blend than straight lines. So if you're struggling with some of your blends, I would put my life on it that you are doing straight lines, not ragged lines. Now I bring the darkest colour out with my medium into a little bit of that preserved highlight there, and then I do the same on the opposite side of the plant pot. So I'm going with my lightest colour, preserving my highlight in the centre, and don't forget this is on our Neenah cardstock, and I've used our Finesse alcohol proof ink pad to stamp my outline, because that means I get no bleeding, no smudging, no blurring of that black outline. It's just perfect when I'm colouring over the top of it with my alcohol marker. Then I go in with my darkest colour, back into the wet ink that I've just put down with the lightest. You can see that there. And again, I'm doing the raggy lines. Then I take my medium colour and I bring that dark out a little further into the centre. And then I start again. So now I'm going back to the darkest and I'm just coming out a little bit further to build up that blend. And I can work on both sides now because I've got a good amount of ink down and that won't have dried. Depends where you are and your humidity. If you're in a very warm place, you would just work on one side of the plant pot at a time. Medium brings the dark back out a little bit further into the centre there, and I'm preserving my highlight all the time. Then I go to my lightest colour, and I'm going to join those two areas in the middle there, where I preserved my highlight with my lightest colour, to start and build up the volume on this plant pot, which you can see coming together there really quickly and easily. And I've just done that with one pen. I have not had to use 7 pens, lots of different colours. I haven't had to go rummaging around in my pen storage to find the right colours. All I've done is keep changing between the light, the dark, and then the medium, bringing it out into the preserved highlight as we go a little further every time. And then what that does is build up the layers of alcohol ink in the cardstock and get you that lovely smooth blend. Now another top tip from me is you'll notice when I put the darkest on at the extremity here, what I never do with my medium or my light is go right back over here again, because lighter colours will bleach out darker colours. So I literally come to the end and bring that ink blend out a little more into the centre, but I never go right back over here again. Once you've put dark at the side, that's the only colour that should go there, the dark colour. You wouldn't want to keep going back because you will bleach out the colours there. Look how fabulous that cylindrical volume on that plant pot looks there. It's got real depth and dimension using one pen. And I can do exactly the same up here for the plant pot rim. And actually guys, just so you know as well, get commenting and sharing. Let your friends know that we're going to be sending out voucher codes with money off, because who doesn't like to get money off and who doesn't like to share that information with their friends? So follow through my Leanne's favourite links at the bottom there, and you'll be able to see where to leave your name, where to leave your email address, and then get all of that lovely content, the exclusive colouring download content we're going to send out to you, and also that voucher for money off. Let them know about it, because that's great, is it not? But also let them know that they can be doing this with their alcohol markers really quickly and easily at home, building up all of this fabulous dimension just using one pen. I just think that's amazing, especially if you've struggled in the past and you haven't quite known where to apply the colour or how to get this amount of dimension built up. Being able to pick up this one colour, one pen with 3 colours inside, and then just layer them as I'm doing, preserving your highlight and then moving that out into the centre and building up that lovely cylindrical volume on your plant pot, which you can see is absolutely, there's a new word, it's very posh, absolutely easy to do. There we go. Now, the other thing I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be giving away all of these little full coloured and part coloured toppers that I do. I'm going to be sending you some homework at the end of the Facebook Live. So get sharing so your friends can be in with a chance of winning that as well. Leave me some comments, ask me questions about your alcohol colouring. What is it you would like to do, not do? What have you had fun with? What have you struggled with in the past? What are you struggling with no longer? And look how easy it is to build up, even on tiny little pieces, lovely 3D volume, which you can see on there. It really is absolutely effortless to do. Right, so that's our cylindrical volume. Now then, let's bring the little bunny in. Let's bring Bunnykins in, and we'll stamp him. Shall I stamp them all onto one sheet for you so you can cut them out into your own toppers? That might be a good idea too. Right, so Bunnykins. Do we do the bunny first or skin? What would you like to see the most? There's the thing. You tell me. So let's get the iPad back out. Let's have a little chat, see what you're saying to me. And I'm asking you a question now. I'm interested to see your answers. What would you like me to show you next? The fur on the bunny or face, skin? I think I know what you're going to say, but I'm interested to see and see what other questions we've got here. We've got Joan from Chelmsford. Hello, Joan. Kate Schuster. How can you tell how often to switch from one shade to the next? Do you know what, Kate? That is a really good question. And the answer to that is when you feel it looks like you want it to look. Stop. And do you know what? I'm going to do another petal with, I'm going to keep that question in my head. I'm logging it in. How do you know how often to change? the next thing we do after we've looked at these, before I do the bunny or the face, I'm going to answer that question for you and show you by colouring another petal. It very much depends on the size of the image you're colouring, and I'll be able to explain that to you. So bear with us, Kate, and anybody else who wants to know the answer to that. Cheryl, got the poppy stamps, love them. I'm pleased to hear that, Cheryl, thank you. Do you just use the Spectrum Noir Ultra Smooth paper only with the Tri-Blend pens? If you have the Colour Blend pencils, can you use it also with this paper or only watercolour paper? Right, so Lynn Gonzalez, that is an excellent question because some of that's correct and some of it isn't. So I'm going to answer the whole thing for you. I'm just going to read that again so I can be sure. Do you just use the Spectrum Noir Ultra Smooth paper only with Tri-Blend pens? Okay, so anybody who's watching from the USA, the Spectrum Noir Ultra Smooth paper is for alcohol marker colouring, period. That is it. So that's Tri-Blend, Spectrum Noir, Graphic and Illustrator. In the UK, it's Nina, and you'll find that on our website. So we have cardstock called Ultra Smooth in the USA, for all of you watching in the USA, and we have our Nina cardstock here in the UK. So that's the difference there, and they are for alcohol marker colouring, period. For your Colour Blend pencils, you need something with more of a tooth. So the Ultra Smooth cardstock doesn't allow you to build up enough layer of colour with the wax and the pigment, because the wax just slides off the top because it's a polished, smooth card. You need something with a little more tooth. So our regular stamping card that we have for you is best for that. And we also have a premium art pad specifically for pencil colouring. Check our websites out, you'll see that there, and they're for use with your Colour Blend pencils. With your aqua pencils, aqua blend, that's the word I'm looking for. With your aqua blend pencils, you want a watercolour cardstock, and with your aqua markers, you want a watercolour cardstock. So the two different types of pencil need two different types of card, and the pencil needs a different card to the alcohol marker. It's so important to get the right card and the right ink pad with the thing that you're colouring with, because that will really help your results. What you can do, however, and it might be what you're referring to, Lynn, is you can use your Colour Blend pencils over the top of your alcohol marker colouring to really make them pop and sing. In that case, it's fine to use them over the top of your alcohol marker colouring on the Ultra Smooth or the Nina, because you've already got that base layer of colour. But if you're starting from scratch with your Colour Blend pencils to colour a black and white image into a full coloured image, use our premium pencil pad for that, because you'll get a much better result. That was a fantastic question. Thank you, Lynn. Okay, can you also use it for Colour Blend pencil in addition to alcohol markers? So yeah, that was Crafters Companion helping out. Thank you, Crafters Companion. I have the full range of the normal Spectrum Noir pens, but I always waste so much time trying to find the right tones to blend. I finally ordered these yesterday. I'm hoping will help me better learn to blend, and I can take them to retreats with me. You are absolutely right, Jennifer, and that's why we developed them. So many more of you watching. We've got loads of people watching what we're doing, which is fantastic. Let's just have a look at that question. I think it was Karen. When do you know when to stop adding colour? Right, I'm going to get one of my exclusive little colouring sheets out here, and we're going to have a look, because it'll be in a bigger area, and you'll be able to see it maybe a little bit better than on those little petals that I'm colouring in on my poppy. Let's do some seashells, shall we? Now then, who remembers the little poem from when they were kids? I don't know if you had it in America, but we had it in the UK, and it was a bit of a tongue twister. She sells seashells on the seashore. Who can do she sells seashells on the seashore? I'm not very good at those, but if you're good at tongue twisters, share your tongue twisters as well. She sells seashells on. There was another one. There was a program where we had to do the Peggy. I can't even say it. Peggy Babcock. That's not seashells. Where we had to do the Peggy Babcock one. I was a bit rubbish at that as well. Now then, another thing to mention is, look what I've got here. Can you see the little bit of a mess I've got under there? Really important when you're doing alcohol colouring, and I didn't mention this, so I'm pleased I've gone to swap that out, that you don't colour directly onto your glass mat, your craft mat, your Teflon mat, your tabletop, your tray. None of those things. It's really, really important that you colour onto some scrap paper or card, which is why I've got a whole pile here. And what that does is, when the colour seeps through here to the back, which it should do to get a beautiful blend, which is what I keep showing you. A full saturation is what allows you to get that beautiful soft result. When the ink gets through to the bottom of the card, if you leave it just onto a craft mat or a glass mat like that, the ink's got nowhere to go. So what it does is pulls on the surface underneath and then comes back up through the card, which is where you get the bleeding and blooming outside of the black lines if you're struggling with that. So if you've got a porous surface underneath, when the ink goes through, it's got somewhere to soak into, and that means that you don't get all of that fuzzing in your coloured images. So always have a scrap piece to colour on, and it can last you a long time. You don't need to keep replacing it. What's happening? I thought, do you know what? There's a lump in my card. What's happened there? That's funny. Well, and I'm looking, I'm going, there's nothing there. What's happened? Look what I've got. Look, guys, do you do this at home? Rubber stamp stuck to the back of my card. Honestly, I'm a liability. I'm sure you do things like that too at home. Right, so now I've got my seashell picture here. And to answer Karen's question, I'm sure it was Karen, how do you know when to stop adding colour? So let's just pick one of these little rounds on the seashell, and I'm going to use this one. And again, and you'll be able to see it because it's a bigger area. So I'm going in with my lightest colour, exactly as I did on the poppy. So in with the lightest colour here, and I'm getting a good saturation. Then I'm going in with my darkest colour. Where would I like it to be darkest on this shell? Well, I'm going to go up the side here, and I'm going to go around the bottom a little bit, so it's nice and dark. Again, getting good saturation. Preserving my highlight though, which means leaving the white area alone. The white area means preserving your highlight, so leave that white because we're coming back to that later. Then we're taking our mid-tone and we're bringing that dark colour, smoothing out the line into that first layer of the lightest colour to start accentuating the blend, and we can bring that a little bit further. You can see there, and you can see I've got the difference in the two. Then I go back to my lightest colour, and now I bring the medium tone that I've just added back out with my lightest tone to that full, I want to call it a petal. It's not a petal because it's a shell, but that whatever that is on a shell that I want to call a petal, that bit of shape, that thing on there, that snail house, that little bit there, whatever that is, and you can see it's gone beautifully from the dark through the medium into the light. I would stop there now. I don't need to add anything else to that because I can see and I'm happy with it. If, however, you think, do you know what, I wish I'd gone a little bit further up with my dark there just to get a little bit more of an accent, that doesn't mean you can't go back in and do that, because what you do is you take your dark, you go back in to where you think you would have liked a little bit more dark and you didn't apply it before. Nothing wrong with that. So there we go, a little bit more dark in there. Then just take the medium again, soften the line. Notice I don't go right the way back over it, I'm just softening the line from the dark into the medium, and then taking my lightest colour and just blending the medium out into that first layer, and all I've done is just extend where the darker highlight was, and I've got the difference between the light and the shade through the medium tone, which is how you build that 3D cylindrical volume with your colouring. And all of this achievable effortlessly with one pen. So just once more on this larger area so you can see it. Lightest colour down first, little circular actions. There we go, lightest colour there. Then the darkest into the light, because a wet ink on a wet card blends much more easily than a dry ink, than ink first layer onto a dry card, if that makes sense. Drag that down there, and then I get my medium tone, bring out, soften the edge of the dark into the preserved highlight and to that first layer of the lightest colour that I had down there. You see I'm just going up to the edge of it, and then I take the lightest colour, oh that's the darkest one. Was that the medium? No, it wasn't, that was the lightest. There you go. So now I've done the medium. Take your own good advice, Leanne. Now I go with the lightest and bring that out and fill it into my preserved highlight. And how quick and easy is that? Absolutely effortless to do, and to build up your 3D dimension with all of your pens, which will work in exactly the same way. Now then, I just want to also explain to you another top tip in terms of what does full saturation mean. And I'm going to do that on another little piece of this shell. So I'm just going to do one colour flat colouring now, just with the lightest colour. So if I just do this very quickly and I just get one layer of colour down, this also allows you to see the difference between having 3 colours in a marker and how brilliant that ombre is, that shift between light and dark, because look at the difference between that one and those 2. When I first coloured those 2, you might have thought, that's all right. But when I do one flat colour beside it, that's when you can absolutely see the benefit of having 3 colours in a marker to build that difference up between the light and the dark to get the depth dimension, the 3D look on your colouring. Now, full saturation, I'm just going to turn this over and show you now. They're the first 2 that I've just coloured. We've got full saturation there because it's come all the way through. This is not full saturation on the card. So it's not the true colour because it's been interfered with by the white card because it hasn't come all the way through to the back. Full saturation, and if I just colour in another area here at the top, what you'll see is by getting more ink on there to full saturation of the colour, that now looks darker to this. Because what I've done is fully saturate the card so the inks come all the way through to the back. So now all you're seeing is the true colour of the marker. What you're seeing here is one layer of ink on the top of some white card, which means the white card is making this now look lighter than it is. So when I say colour to full saturation, I mean really wet it so that all of the ink comes through, the white card doesn't interfere with the final result, and you can see the true colour of the marker. And that's how you build up the colouring effect so much more easily, by saturating the card and getting that lovely smooth blend. So that's what that means when I keep saying to you full saturation, and that's the best way to demonstrate it to you, where you can see where it hasn't come all the way through to the back and where it has. Okay, hope that answered your question, Karen. Now then, I'm going to scroll to the bottom because now I'm hoping I see either bunny or skin. What are we getting? What are we getting? Are we getting? Oh, are we getting any? Oh, nobody's letting me know. Do you not mind? Do you not mind if we do bunny or skin? Should we do? Oh, we'll do skin. We'll do skin and then the bunny. Come back to that seashell in a minute. Turn that over. Bunny's there. Now then, these stamps, I'm sure you all got them when we had them on Create and Craft recently, because that's why we're back here doing this lovely educational for you. It's so you can, now that you've got your markers, or maybe you've got them on HSN with our Sarah, now you can watch and see all of the tips and techniques for how to get the best out of your markers once you've got them home, and how easy it is to get these fabulous alcohol colouring results with your Tri-Blend pens because of the unique way that we've put those 3 colours together. So I'm just making sure I've got lots of ink on my stamp and I haven't missed anywhere. And that's using my Finesse Alcohol Proof, don't forget. I want a clean piece of card. There we go, clean piece of card there. Stamp her down. Can we just take a moment to appreciate that? That is how amazing our Finesse ink pads are. Look at that in one pass with that ink pad. Truly beautiful, fine, crisp, beautiful, precise lines, because this is the first time that an ink pad has been developed specifically for alcohol colouring. That has not happened before in the history of ink pads. So if you've struggled with getting really good images that don't move when you put your alcohol colour on them, get this, because it's absolutely amazing. Okay, I just needed to stop and appreciate that because it looked gorgeous. Now I'm going back in, so see, this is where I'm going back into me box of pens here, looking for me Fair Skin blend. Pale pink. There it is, Fair Skin. So we've even got, I've got some samples here as well to show you where it doesn't just have to be about fair skin. There are lots of different colour skins you can do with all of the different markers in here. So we've got the Fair Skin blend, but then we've got a tan blend, a golden brown blend, an earth brown blend. All of those give you brilliant other types of skin tone, and you can add a little bit of grey in as well, and that will deepen and give it more depth. So it's not just about this, but this pen is Fair Skin blend, so I'm going to show you how this one works. So I've stamped my image down here for this lady, and we're going to colour her in. So exactly as we did before, no different. We start with the lightest colour, we go with full saturation, and I've just shown you what that means. And then we build up the depth into the centre of her face. Now, when you're colouring a face, most people struggle with where should it be light, where should it be dark. Well, here's the thing. The things that are the furthest forward are the things that are the lightest. So the thing that's the furthest forward on my face is my nose. So that's going to be the lightest thing when I colour it in. That's where I'm going to preserve my highlight. So down the centre of my face, furthest forward, forehead, nose, chin, that's where I'm going to be the lightest on a face when you're colouring it. The bits that are further back, your ears, your hairline, all around here, that's all in shade. So your hair's casting shade, your ears, things in the background. So this is dark around here. This is further forward. This is going to be the lightest. Exactly the same when you're colouring your image, and that's the rule we're going to apply. And circular items, which is, well, my face is more of a circle than a lovely sweetheart oblong like hers. Perfect face. No jealousy going on here. But round items, if you've got a face like mine, are lighter in the middle, dark around the outside. We'll say no more about round faces. So we're going in with the lightest colour for our Fair Skin blend onto the cardstock and getting some saturation down there. So remember, that's really wetting the fibres of the cardstock, but leaving it lighter in the centre so I'm able to preserve my highlight. So you see, I'm coming round under her hairline, but I'm not going right over the nose because that's going to be kept nice and light. That's where it's going to be the furthest forward and the lightest. Getting some good full saturation down with my lightest colour all around the perimeter of her face. Then I'm taking my darkest colour from the opposite end of the pen and I'm going to build up some of the shade. And you see, I'm just using tiny little circular motions with this beautiful fine tip, bullet tip on these markers. And by the way, haven't mentioned, really important, Japanese brush nibs. If a marker you're using doesn't have a Japanese brush nib, stop using it. It's not worth it. Because Japanese brush nibs are absolutely the very best in terms of bringing the colour out and getting it saturated beautifully on your card. If you do that, can I just explain what you see me doing there, because you'll be wondering what the dickens is going on. If that happened to you, if you're just a little bit too ham-fisted when you open your pen and you can see the inside, notice I just put it together again and I went like that in opposing directions, very gently, not strongly, and then that just gets this locked back in place and you can start using the pen again. Not a problem at all, very easy to do. It's just part of the manufacturing process where perhaps they didn't quite lock it, so you can quite easily remedy that by just putting your lid back on, doing that, and then it's back where it needs to be. So I've got my mid-tone here. My mid-tone is bringing out the dark into the preserved highlight, exactly as we did on our flower petals, no different at all. And then we go to our lightest colour and we come into our preserved highlight into this lightest area of the face. And you can see how, look at the shade on her face, how quick and easy that was to do with one pen. For those of you who've been terrified of faces up to now, are you not just, as the heavens not just opened and the angels coming down and the sunbeams and the trombones and the music and the rainbows and the unicorns and everybody mystical coming down to go, la! How easy was that? Skin is one of the most difficult things to do. With your tri-blend markers and one pen, you can do that. And you can do it immediately, stamp a face and colour it at home. And lots of the other pens will do different colour skin tones for you in exactly the same way. Now, if you want to build up a little bit more depth, which you might want to do, back to Karen's point earlier, what I would do now is just go with my dark again and just pick up a little bit more depth in the areas where I would like it to be a little bit darker. So actually round that side of her face there, up each side of her finger here, because she'd be casting a shadow, so I can put a little bit more of the darker colour in there. Maybe around this curl, and then just with my medium blend that out into the first layer exactly as I did before, and it's effortless and seamless. And then with my lightest colour, just make sure that the medium comes back into my preserved highlight in the centre. And then what I can do, so remember the furthest thing forward is the lightest, so actually down either side of her nose is quite far back and her nose will be casting a shadow. So just to get a little bit more dimension in there, what I can do is just with a little bit of that dark ink, just bring that shadow down around her nose, and look how that really starts to build up a little bit more dimension on her face there. And you can do this at home with this one marker, because I'm just using the same marker to add all of this contouring into her face to get that beautiful look of skin tone. Same for her hand, and actually because the hand's quite small, I can do the whole thing in one go. So preserve your highlight where you would like it to be lightest. Get your light colour down with your saturation. Take your darkest colour, add in where it's going to be darker, which is at the bottom of the finger, because the top of the hand would be casting a shadow on the rest of the hand. It's going to be lightest at the top, which is why I've preserved my highlight here on her finger. Darker at one end there, and then take your lightest, preserve your highlight, bring that back out, and that's how quick it was to do a hand with that one marker. Still haven't changed from that one marker to get all of that shade, depth, dimension, roundness into her face. Really, really easy to do. Now what I can do is go and get my pale pink blend, and with my pale pink blend, what I'm going to do is give her some cheeks. Now, with cheeks, this is really important, guys. If you're in the UK, hands up if you remember Wurzel Gummidge. You remember Wurzel Gummidge, I know you do, because you're the same age as me, I'm certain. So Wurzel Gummidge had a friend called Aunt Sally. Aunt Sally and Wurzel used to like to have a cup of tea and a piece of cake, as I do. However, Aunt Sally had big, round, rosy cheeks. Don't ever do round, rosy cheeks on your images when you're colouring faces, because they're going to end up looking like Aunt Sally, and it's not a pretty look. We need to do some proper contouring. We're going to makeup school now. So we're going to do some proper contouring, and that would be a triangle of colour. So I've got my pale pink, and I'm bringing in her cheek with some contouring there, and we've got a triangle of colour coming in from the outside to the centre of her face. How easy was that? One pen, the middle colour. Now if I want to smooth that out a little bit, I go back to my fair skin blend with the lightest colour, just down the edges, one little touch, beautiful cheekbones. It could not be more simple with these markers. You can do this at home, and you can be confident that you can get these results at home, as I'm getting, because do you know what? I'm not the best colourist in the world. I enjoy it, but I'm not brilliant at it. I do enjoy the process of it, and I do like the things that I've done as a result, and I do want them to look nice, but I want it to be quick. I'm also probably one of the most impatient people in the world, and so spending 5 hours colouring an image just isn't going to work for me. Having something like this with these markers where you don't have to spend 5 hours doing it, you can just do it in 5 minutes, as you're seeing me do here, is really brilliant. Now then, lips. I want my bright pink blend. Here it is, bright pink blend. Now, when you've got a tiny little area like this on her lips, and you want to get in some real depth and dimension, this is the only time I would say don't start with the lightest colour, because you haven't got enough room to blend out that lovely soft look that we've done on her face there. What we need to do is just start with the darkest straight away, and the darkest would just get tipped into the corners there. Again, full saturation, but notice I'm using tiny little dabbing motion rather than a colouring motion. Same over here, into the corners of her lips, because your mouth going into the corners is where it would be darker. We're back to makeup school again. When we want to make lips fuller and pop, we put a lighter colour of lipstick in the centre of our lips. So I've gone with the darkest in there, and then I go to the opposite end of the pen, the lightest, and I just pull that out into the rest of the lip. And I've built up a lovely 3D lip really quickly and easily there, just using one pen. If I want to accentuate it a little bit more, I can just put a little bit more on the corner, and that builds up lovely. And look how by preserving the highlight on her nose, her face is starting to come together with a real 3D feel now, especially with the contour in there on her face with the pale pink pen. You can be doing this immediately you get these pens home. I'm going to, now, so here, I'm a girl of the 80s. Hands up if you're a girl of the 80s or before. If you're a girl of the 80s, what had to match? Your lips, your nails, your shoes and your earrings all had to be the same colour. I can't get away from it. I'm still doing it now. It's 2019. but it was in my head when I was out partying in the 80s. So her nails now, they're matching her lips. It's really important. We need to do matchy-matchy. There we go. And if she had earrings, her earrings would be matching too. And I'm just letting you know her stiletto shoes down here are also this bright colour, as is her handbag. Handbag, earrings, shoes, lips, nails, all the same colour back in the 80s. And I know you remember. If you were old enough, I'm sure you are. Right, so there we go. We've got the skin. Now, should we move on with hair? Or let's have a look at the questions. Now, before we go on with hair, let's just take a little reminder. There's a link down here. This little link is to take you to my favourites, my top tips, my picks of the colouring world, all of my specials, and my advice to you in terms of get these and you'll get brilliant results. So to get that, you're going to follow this little link, and then this is what you'll see. This little page when it takes you through, and you can see that's Leanne's favourites there. So a not terribly flattering photograph of me, but a photograph of me, and then some little words where I'm saying hello, these are Leanne's favourites. Then we've got here an area for you to fill in your name first and last, and your email address, and we're going to tell us what country you're in, and then tick this little box and tell us that you're not a robot. And once you've done that, what we're going to do is send you out an email with some exclusive content, colouring content, for you to download. Those little she sells on the seesaw, can't even say it, seashore, one of those images that you see me use earlier. We're going to send you some of those to download and have a nice time colouring in, completely free of charge. And we're also going to be sending you a voucher with some money off, and it's a good amount of money off, your next purchase with Crafters Companion. So follow along, fill that in, make sure we've got your details, sit back and relax, enjoy the tutorials, know that we're sending you out that exclusive colouring content for you to download and a voucher code off your next shop. So also get sharing this live so that your crafty friends know that they can get a voucher, because who doesn't like to share that information with their friends as well. And then what I'm going to do here is have a little look and see what other questions you've got for me. Let's have a little moment to answer some, and then I think we'll have a look at some finished examples, because we haven't done that yet. It'd be nice to see some of the finished cards and what you can do, and pieces of artwork that I've got here. That's going to blow your mind. This, hang around to see that. Oh, my word. And then also, I'll talk to you about that in a minute, but I need you to let me know who would like this image as a stamp to colour in. This was actually hand drawn by one of our amazingly talented artists on the Spectrum Noir team, Benita. Benita is so talented, off the chart. She drew the tiger. I couldn't do that. But then she coloured it with the tri-blend, just using 3 markers. I know, and I'm going to talk you through that. But I want that as a stamp. So if you would like it as a stamp, leave comments, spam me here on this Facebook Live, because that's then me evidence when I decide that I'm going to make a tiger stamp and people say, have you lost the plot, Leanne? Because I think that would be amazing. Right, answering more questions. Here we go. Peggy, is there an alcohol blender pen? Not here, Peggy, because you don't need it. And there is, because as you've seen, the pens do the blending for you because you've got the 3 correct colours. We do have single blender pens in the Spectrum Noir range, and you could use one of those. Or if you've got a blender pen at home, just use a blender pen that you've got at home. All blender pens work in the same way. But here's the thing I've got to tell you all. Everybody sit down. Get comfortable. Hang on. This is a shocker. This is a real... Everybody get comfortable. You don't want to fall off your chair when I tell you this, because you're going to. Blender pens do not blend. I know. Blender pens that don't blend. Whoever, I'd like to meet the person way back when decided they were going to call a blender pen, and I'd like to speak to them in strong terms, because blender pens are really deleting pens. It's your alcohol rubber is what it is. If you think about your graphite pencil colouring and then rubbing it out, an alcohol blender pen is really about correcting mistakes and deleting colour. It's got nothing at all to do with blending. So if that's what you're worried about, you don't need it. The markers as you've got them will do all of the blending for you. If you've got a blender pen elsewhere from us or from somebody else for deleting mistakes, that will work. So don't worry about it. That was an excellent question. Thank you very much. That was from Peggy. So thank you, Peggy. Christine Stevens Meenal says, laugh out loud, you crack me up. Thank you, Christine. I take that as a compliment. Really, I do. It means everybody's having fun here. I think I'm meant to be a professional demonstrator of product right now, but if you're having a little chuckle along with us, I'm really happy to hear it. I can't help it. You can't change the habits of a lifetime. Right, so what have we got here? When did they come out with these markers? I have the original Spectrum Noir full set markers. That's from Antonio Carey Barnaba Ocampo. Wow, you've got some amazing names. These have only been out for about 2 months. I don't even think that. I think probably 6 weeks, a month to 6 weeks. They're on HSN, not this time, but the time before. So that would have been February. And we're only in March now. So probably only 6 weeks. And I've only just had these on the shopping channel Create and Craft last week. Where does the time go? So only about 6 weeks. They're brand new to the collection, and we've brought them out because so many people, even though we brought Spectrum Noir with our brilliant colour system, which is reflected in these markers as well. You can see here on the Fair Skin Blend, we've got FS6, FS7, FS8, which is the Fair Skin Blend colours. We've got those there. So the colours in these tri-blend markers absolutely translate to the colours in your original Spectrum markers, but what it does do is make it more quick and easy for novice colourists to pick up a pen and just have those 3 colours there and be able to colour with them. And actually for more experienced colourists as well, for you to be able to colour on the move. As we've just been saying, I love to colour in front of the TV on a night. I've got my little bag of pens beside me, I've got my lap tray, my card, my stamps, and I just colour away while I'm watching TV because I have to be doing something with my hands. But equally, for example, this weekend, I'm off to the caravan with Mr. C. We're off to Keswick because we've got a caravan down there. Guess what I'm taking with me? My tri-blend markers. I've pre-stamped some images, I've got my tri-blends, and I'm just going to sit and have a lovely time colouring on an evening while he's reading his book or while he's out on his mountain bike up and down the mountains, because I don't want to do, this isn't built for mountain biking, but it is built for alcohol colouring at the caravan with a little cup of tea and a piece of cake, a bit like Aunt Sally. But hey, we've already talked about her. That's why your tri-blend markers are fantastic. Right, so what have we got here? Great demo, thank you very much, you're very welcome. Wish you would do a video on your Aqua Blend pencils. Well, April, be careful what you wish for. We're going to write that down. We're writing that down now. Video on Aqua Blend pencils, and we'll come back and we'll do that for you. Because actually we haven't done anything on them for a long time. So it would be a good idea for me to do something on Aqua Blend pencils. So definitely. And if anybody else has got any more requests for the type of video or a tutorial session like this that they'd like to see, let me know, because the craft room's right next door to my office here at head office, Crafters Companion Towers. Our craft room is amazing. Spend a lot of time in here anyway. If they can't find me for a meeting, I'm in here crafting. I would love an opportunity to do some more videos. So let me know what you'd like to see. Laurie's saying these tutorials and tips are amazing. Well, thank you, Laurie. That's very kind. Lisa, never coloured with alcohol markers before. Appreciate the info. Lisa, get some tri-blend. Give it a go. You're going to get fantastic results and be really pleased with them. Now, I can see all of your comments for skin, which we've done, so hopefully you're happy about that. We're going to do a hair next, and then we're going to have a look at the bunny rabbit as well. So, painting is all about light and dark. That's what gives dimension. You are quite right, Kirsten, and that's why you need 3 colours in a tri-blend marker, the light, the medium and the dark, and that's how you get that lovely depth and real look. Okay, so what are the difference between all of the ink pads when stamping? Finesse versus Harmony versus Quick Dry. Okay, Teresa. So if you go back and have a look on my page, I did last week one of these sessions on our Harmony ink pads, and in there I talked about Finesse waterproof, I talked about our Harmony and our Quick Dry dye. So all of the information that you need is in that 2-hour colouring event marathon that we did. Go back and have a look on a Crafters Companion page or on my personal page, Leanne Chivers, and you'll see that there. The only difference being is this Finesse one, which now appears on this live stream, because this is the one you need to use with your alcohol markers. This is the one that was developed specifically for alcohol marker colouring, and so you can see that there we go, Finesse alcohol proof. That's the only different one to the ones on the previous live I did last week. Go and watch that and you'll find out all of the answers to those. And it takes 2 hours, so much longer than I've got to explain that here. Go and watch it and you'll have good fun as well. Can I show you the end of the pen I'm using? Most certainly I can. There you go. That's the end of one of the pens that I'm using. So you can see you've got that lovely fine bullet tip on there. And again, Japanese bullet tip, you can see it goes to a very fine point. You can see that there. And all three of the nibs are exactly the same for all three of the different colours in the marker. There we go. Annie, Leanne, you make it look so easy. I promise you, Annie, it's not me, it's the pens. Get an image stamped, get your pens, colour it down, do exactly as I've explained to you, preserve your highlight, light, dark, medium, it's going to work for you. Okay, lots more comments, we'll come back to those a little bit later. Lovely that you're all enjoying it and you're finding the information that I'm giving you interesting and that it's been really helpful for you. So we've got her beautiful face there, and now we're going to have a look at doing her hair. And I'm going to go with my golden brown blend so she can have some golden brown hair. I'm going to do the hair and then we're going to look at the samples. We've got to do that, I mustn't forget. Now then, I've just noticed the time. So I need your help, guys. I need your help because theoretically, I've only got 8 minutes left. Theoretically. But I've got more than 8 minutes worth of stuff to tell you. So I need, like we did last week on the harmony people didn't let me down. I need my alcohol people to do the same. We need lots of keep goings in the comments so that when I get into trouble for going on a bit longer than the hour and a half, I can say, but look, it's what everybody wanted. And we won't tell them that we've had this conversation because nobody's listening. I'm relying on you. Right, so we've got the golden hair and it's going to be the same. So we're going to flick the colour in and we're going with the lightest. And what I'm doing is little flicks this time. So I'm flicking the colour in so I can get movement in hair. I'm not going to do lots of little circles and deep shaded colouring because that isn't what you want for hair. You want to flick the detail in. And I'm flicking for both sides. And again, what I'm doing, you'll see, is I'm preserving my highlight in the middle. Okay, so you can see that there. Then I'm going to the dark end of the pen and I'm flicking in the colour. Having this fabulous detailed little bullet nib here really does help with getting lovely fine little flicks in place to start doing her hair. And you can see without any effort at all how quick, by just doing those little flicks and following the contour of her hair starts to come together. And then this is the medium. So I've done exactly the same theory as we did for doing all of the other colouring. I started with light, I then did darker, and then I've come with the medium and I'm preserving my highlight all the time. So back to the dark, little flicks, into the centre, preserving the highlight, which actually is very similar to that cylindrical plant pot that I coloured in, if you remember. Not a lot of difference in the theory, it's just the application and the image itself. And you see I'm preserving the highlight and look how I'm getting to build that beautiful movement in her hair in seconds. Just a minute maybe. And I can continue by doing that on the rest of her hair with the same ethos. Just flicking it in, preserving the hairlight at the preserving the hairlight, the highlight in the centre by keeping a white area. So I've got my lightest and then I've got my darkest in here, just flicking it in with that lovely bullet tip, joining it in with the middle colour. There we go. Preserving my highlights all the way, go with the lightest colour, flick that in and just build it up as I go around all of the hair here. This could not be more easy and more impactful. However, guys, it's because with these tri-blend markers, you've got the 3 perfect colours that you need to be able to build all of this up yourself at home using one pen. That is the real joy. I'm doing this beautiful hair and the effect of this hair here on this image just using one marker. It really is fantastic and you can do this at home yourself. And what you'll notice is I'm not really precise about how I flick it or where I flick it because she's got quite messy hair, this one. So I'm just flicking the colour in over the top of each other and it's doing, the marker is doing all of that hard work for me because I preserved the highlight and I've been able to build up her hair surrounding that beautiful face in absolutely no time at all. Now if you want to get a little bit more depth in there, we've got in the range a brown grey and an ice cool grey. So you can use the darkest of the greys if you want to get in just a little bit more depth at the roots of her hair. so you can start to overlay colours, and we're going to look at how we blend, how we use more colours and not just the colour in the pen in a second, once we've had a look at the bunny. So you see I was able to do that there, and that just adds a little bit more depth. But of course I've got the perfect colour, and I can use a new colour as well. I've got my earth brown. I wanted to put in, oh look, oh hello earth brown. Look what that does. Oh, that really adds in. So this was my golden brown for the start, and then the darkest from my earth brown colour, just adding in a little bit more depth at the roots. Oh look, hey, I'm excited about this. So little flicks, follow the contour of the hair around, and what you build up is the, oh look, I'm going to be sending this out to somebody, so I hope you're pleased about that. I'm just presuming you're going to be pleased about that. So we're going to pick somebody at the end, and you're going to get all the little bits that I've coloured. If they're finished, you can make them into a card. If they're not, well then you can finish them with your lovely alcohol markers. Or you could just keep it as a reference and copy it yourself with your own colouring if that's what you want to do. So look there with the earth brown, adding in a little bit more. How fabulous does her hair look now by just adding in that little bit of extra depth? It really does. For your alcohol colouring, what you need is a very definite difference between very light and very dark. That's what you need, and that's what we've managed to achieve here. I'll just pick that up so you can see it. There we go. You can see there the very definite difference. Look how she looks like she's bursting out of those flowers now. And don't forget how easy those flowers were to do. So if you wanted to start colouring the little flowers around her face now, just picking up your favourite colours, we can start doing that, because we've already learned how to do flowers. We learned, oh, what have I done with that? Yeah, honestly, I'm a liability. What happened to them? Well, that's interesting. I'm sure I'll find them later, my little flowers that I did, but same thing. So we've got the lightest, let's say we've got some orange ones, and then we've got the darkest, and then we've got the mid-tone. So notice all the time I'm telling you to do exactly the same things. Start with light, go in with the dark, and then build it up. And look how easy we can start to build up these little flowers, exactly as I showed you how to do those flowers before, all around her hair. But you can see you've got that beautiful face in there, and the movement in the hair, just using those two pens. How fantastic was that? And then we can start to build this. I'll do this one flower, I'll get you started, and then you can finish it off at home. So I've got so much more to show you, and technically I'm already meant to be finished. That was me crafty fairy, because there's no show without punch. She's come to say hello. She's in the room. She's made it. I don't know how I've been managing without her. Have you noticed there's been a distinct lack of referencing to the crafty fairy during this colouring thing, because she's been on a jolly, but she's back so she can get her finger out and get some work done. Right, so there you are. You can see how we've got those lovely flowers. We've got that beautiful hair and face. We've got the chiselling. Really easy to do. Okay, bunny. Where? Oh, there they are. Look, I found them. Ha ha. There they are. I'm going to be sending these too. There we are. So you can see with that lovely look at the cylinder on the plant pot. Now, just make a point to you as well. Look at that plant pot now. Before, earlier, when we looked at it, it looked a little bit patchy in a couple of these areas. Maybe like the blend wasn't as perfect as it could be. If you see that at home, don't panic and start overworking it. Just have faith and have confidence. Put it to the side and let it dry. Because as the alcohol evaporates and leaves the dye behind, it evaporates at different rates depending on where the card was wetter and where it was drier. That's what creates the patchy look. Once all of the alcohol is evaporated, you're just left with this beautiful, smooth, gorgeous blend, which is what you can see in that plant pot there. So if you have got a little bit of a patchy look, leave it alone. It's just because various parts of that image that you're colouring, some are drier and some are wetter than others. That's all it is. Okay, so I thought that might be a good thing to tell you too. Right, so keeping this bit of paper here because I just love that face and I want to keep looking at it. Let's do the little bunny. Oh, no. No, rewind. Change my mind. I've been promising it all the way along and I still haven't done it. We're going to have a look at some cards. Because, do you know, we just need to. Changed my mind. We're going to have a look at some cards because you've been watching me for long enough. Hang on, I'm just relying. I've asked my crew, Crafty Fairy, to tell us to keep going so that when I get into... Come on everybody. Where's me keep goings? I'm over time. I need the evidence in here that it was by popular demand. I'm not telling anybody. Don't worry, it's between me and you. But I need the keep goings. Because then when I get me appraisal and they're like, why are your Facebook live sessions always half an hour longer than everybody else's? I can say, by popular demand. So, come on with the coupons. Here's the cards. Right, now this is that beautiful image that you've just seen me colour, but on a piece of Nina Desert Storm cardstock. So look what a beautiful vintage look you can get by just changing the colour of the card base. There she is again. Look, when her hair's all done. Same colours as I've just used, different colours in her hair. How amazing is that? Then we've got, look at this. Now, look, you can be doing that with your tri-blends at home. And one marker for the skin, one for her eye, one for the hair, one for the blue flower, one for the purple. The only addition in there is a little bit of white gel pen for some highlight on her lips and in her hair. Absolutely stunning. We've got beautiful florals, you can see there. There's another version of a different skin tone for her fit. Look at the difference. Now this is what I mean. Oh, which way am I going? This way. Now this is what I mean about being able to change the look and feel. So I'm just going to pick up one that I had earlier, the first one. Look. 3 entirely different looks by changing the hair tone, the flower tone, the skin tone. Our tri-blend markers can do that for you. And the reason this one looks much softer is just because it's been stamped with a very pale outline, with not a dark outline. And look how beautiful that looks. So that's those. I've got loads more here to show you. Oh, flowers dropped off. We'll fix that in a minute. You can do your really cute little quirky images if you want to. I love that. You can do just nice blocky colouring, which you're going to be able to do with those lovely exclusive contents that you can download. Don't forget, you're going to be able to do some lovely modern colouring like that with your tri-blend markers. Or you can make them look very vintage by just, when you've finished colouring it, just putting a little wash with your Harmony ink pad in a lovely soft brown colour. Gives it a much more vintage look and feel. You can just randomly stamp backgrounds and colour in a full background design if you want to. You can do your cute little characters, which is what we're going to have a look at next. You can do your really pretty florals, which you can see there. Real depth and dimension. That's one of my favourite floral stamps of all time. You see me use that all the time with my Harmony ink pads. You can also use it with your alcohol. This is a little bunny we're going to be colouring in next. He's gorgeous. Look, if you just like your die cuts and you want to colour your die cuts, colour your die cut from a nice smooth cardstock, and then use your tri-blend markers and you can colour them in to get that lovely grade. Look here, from the dark to the light at the top of the word magical there. So you can colour in your die cuts as well. Lots and lots of possibilities. Now, I promised you this. Let's tidy these up. I've got to show you these. This is absolutely off the chart. Amazing. I've already shown you it once, tidying up. I'm a tidy crafter, what can I say? I'll come back to these in a minute. There we go. Right, these, look at that. Absolutely off the chart, amazing. And don't forget, I'm relying on my crew here on Facebook today, not only to say keep going, thank you, I've got lots of thanks guys, lots of keep goings in there, but also, would you like that image as a stamp? Because I just think I would. I think that is exceptional. That image is beautiful. And when I tell you that is coloured with 3 alcohol markers and a white gel pen, can you even believe it? And that's because you can overlay the colours. So the pink and the turquoise give you that purple colour coming through. You've got the depth in the 3 different colours of the pink. You've got the depth in the 3 different colours of turquoise. You can overlay the colours with the purples to get different hues in between. Put in a couple of the white gel highlights on there. You've got something which is a true amazing piece of artwork using 3, count them, 3 pens. Off the chart. Look at these. This is brilliant. This is, oh, I didn't know the name of that and now I've forgotten. Oh, it'll come back to us. It's a mix between a mermaid, a unicorn and there's something else. And it's got a name. It's got a mystical name. If you know the mystical name, let me know on Facebook because I can't remember. And there we go. Look at this. Now, I just want to point this out to you because this is how a clever person with 1 pen achieves real depth and dimension in what they're colouring. The way we've managed to get all of the movement in that hair, let me point it out to you here. Can you see we do the opposite on the other piece of hair? So if I show you this one, you can see here this has gone from dark all the way up to light here. But its neighbouring strand goes from dark down to light. As that gets alternated all the way across, alternating it, going from top to bottom, dark to light, or bottom up, dark to light, gets you this amazing depth and movement. One pen in the purple, one pen in the turquoise, just by alternating it. Looks absolutely amazing. Gorgeous. You can do your steampunky colouring if you want to. I adore this pop art look because that shows you how the 3 pens working together really gets you depth and dimension. Look how amazing that is. That's off the chart. Fantastic. Here's my whale. Now this has a narwhal. This is a narwhal. I knew I'd remember. This is a whale and a unicorn in one. New mystical creature coming to a crafty world near you soon. A narwhal. We've got that lovely little moon gazing hare. We've just got some freehand drawing you can do if you want to. So lots and lots of possibilities. Look how gorgeous that is. Look how beautiful this is, just coloured with all that depth and dimension. You're going to be able to do all of this and more yourself at home really quickly and easily. Keeping the tiger because I think he's gorgeous. Right, let's do the bunny. I've got to do the bunny and I've got to do a butterfly and a cupcake, and then I'm going home because I will absolutely, there'll be one of those, you know, when you go to the pantomime. Where's my rocker block? There it is. We know when you go to the pantomime in one of those crooks, not a man from jail crook, but like a shepherd's crook, come on from the side and drag people off. That's absolutely going to be happening because I can talk the proverbial, I can talk the hind legs off a donkey. But I've got so much to tell you, and I think it's all useful information because it's teaching you how to get the best out of your pens if you've got them home, and if you haven't got them home and you're thinking of getting them because you're watching and you think, oh, that looks like the easiest thing in the world to do and I've not had good results with my oil colouring before, then you can absolutely get them home and do that. Right, so we've got the little bunny here now. Little bunny is going to get coloured in with my brown grey pen. Now I've already shown you how to do the plant pot, so you can do the plant pot yourself. I'm just going to remind you. So you would do his plant pot in exactly the same way. I'm not going to bother doing that, but I am going to do the bunny, and then you can do the plant pot for a little practice yourself when you get it home, okay? So little bunny is going to get coloured using what's called pointillism. Now pointillism is just lots of little dots. So I'm starting with my brown grey pen, and then I'm just dotting in the colour really quickly and easily there. And I'm just, again, preserving my highlight by keeping the area that I would want to be the lightest white when I'm adding in the colour. And the area that would be the lightest would be the furthest part forward of his face, or wherever his fur is, wherever he's a bunny at the end of the day. You can make him as dark or as light in whatever area you want. So I'm just going around the outside of the face with my lightest colour. And then I'm going to go at the base of his ears here. And then down his little body. Now because I'm using a series of dots to do this colouring, I don't have to saturate the card, which is what I've been saying to you, because this is a building up of dots, and I don't have to work on tiny areas at a time. I can work on a larger area, which is what I can do there with the bunny. Then I go to the darkest colour at the other end of my pen. Now guys, if you can pick up one pen that's been cleverly formulated with 3 different colours in it, and if you can dot your pen up and down, then you're an alcohol colourist, because you can do this for a little cute character. And when you get all of the dimension built up, it really does look great because it gives the impression of fur without having to worry about colouring him so he looks furry. This is my favourite thing to do when I'm colouring little cute characters like this. I think it looks great because it does start to build up the appearance of fur. Then I'm going with my middle colour. So exactly the same concept as we did before, and don't worry, don't try and be precisely putting these dots down, because what you want are all of the different little dots to overlap, because when they overlap then they start to blend in with each other, which is what gives the appearance of fur. So the light will blend in with the medium, the dark will blend in with the light, and then the medium. All the little dots will start to blur into one as they start to overlap, which allows you to build up this illusion of fur. And it's very, very, very simple to do, which you can see there. Very simple. Now where my highlight was preserved, I'm coming in a little bit further with that now. I'm leaving his little chest white because I want to have a little white chest, but I'm bringing that in a little bit further into those areas. There we go. And then I'm going to show you a cheat, a top trick cheat at the end of this. Right, so that's there. And then I've got my dark again, and I can go with some more precise for my much darker areas, precise application of the dots. So I'm going to have it darker under here, under his little arm. Do rabbits have arms, or do they have legs? I'm calling it an arm because he's my bunny rabbit. I think we also need, and if you agree, please do vote by leaving your comments here and sharing and getting your friends to leave comments, because that's how, by popular demand, is the only way I'm going to get it to go through. I want a guinea pig stamp. Guinea pigs, I adore little guinea pigs. They're my favourite thing in the world. Such cute little things, and we haven't got any guinea pig stamps. I think we need one in our life. So what I've got here is a pale pink, and I'm just dotting him a little cheek in. He is a fictional character, so he can have a little circle. He doesn't have to have it chiseled, as in makeup. And then I've got my lightest colour, and I'm just diffusing that little cheek into the layer of the dark. You can see there. So he's got a lovely little shine on him now. And then the darkest colour is going to bring in his little nose and his little tongue there. There we go. And then the same technique I used for his fur, I'm using for inside his ear. So I'm just dotting the colour on, lightest first, darkest, and this is the pale pink pen, if you're wondering. Darkest dots, medium dots, lightest dots. There we go. Now then, here's my top trick. Fair Skin Blend pen. The lightest colour on your Fair Skin Blend pen now, and you quickly, just a very light wash over the bunny like that. Takes all, look at the difference in his face. Takes all of the harsh white away, but smooths out some of the dots, but doesn't take away the texture of the fur. Same for his ears. Look, over everything all in one go. I don't even have to worry about doing one ear at a time. And it's just a light wash. Blends in the little dots, takes away the harsh white, gets all the blending going, looks like a fabulous little bunny. Same here on his body. Light skin. Little wash over. That's brought the little bunny all together, and you've got that beautiful appearance of fur. The harsh white's been taken away, and you've got all of that lovely depth and dimension on that little bunny just by using the dots there. How quick and easy is that? And you can be achieving that at home. And don't forget to do his plant pot. You're going to do the plant pot in the same way that I showed you how to do the plant pot on those flowers there. Okay. And you've got your face there as well. So we've looked at a poppy. We've looked at the flowers for dimension. We've done skin, cheeks, hair. And we've done the cute little character. Where's he? Oh, there he is. Cute little character. Finally, what I want to do is show you how you can blend more than one colour for a really impressive effect. And I'm going to stamp myself 2 images to show you that. So I'm going to get a butterfly, and I'm going to get a cupcake, because it's all very well just using the one pen, which is what it do you know what I was going to do? I have to share with you now. So I've got my little mouse down here for my laptop to show you that fabulous Leanne's Top Tips on the screen there. I've just almost picked up my mouse to ink my stamp. That would have been interesting, wouldn't it? I don't think I would have gotten very much ink on there, but it is a similar shape. So I've got my Finesse alcohol proof, stamping that on. Onto the butterfly, and we'll put that here. Perfect. And then I've got the cupcake. Stamping that onto here. Now don't forget, as you're watching me stamp these, which is really boring, follow the little link at the bottom. Go and follow it along to Leanne's Favourites, and you'll see in there that there's a space for you to leave your name and your email address. Leave your name and your email address, and we will send you some exclusive download colouring content, and we will also send you a voucher for some money off your next shop with Crafters Companion. So get sharing this live, follow that little link, let your friends be in on the information for getting all of that exclusive download colouring content free of charge, and a voucher off your next purchase with Crafters Companion, and it's a voucher worth having. That's all I'm saying. It's a voucher worth having. Right, I'm going to pick my purple blend now, and I'm going to pick my blue turquoise. and I'm probably going to pick my pink too. So I've got 3 pens here, and we're going to start colouring the butterfly. Now what we're going to do is look at how we can use more than one colour together, and that's how we get the beautiful results as we can see on this tiger here. It's that kind of ombre, and then if I show you this cupcake, how you get this beautiful overlay and transition between many different colours. So your alcohol markers do not just have to be about one colour at a time. It can be about overlaying several colours as well. There's a little tip and technique to that, but once you've been using your markers and doing the technique that I've been showing you up to now, you're going to be able to move on and do this really quickly and easily. So move them to one side. I've got a butterfly, and the first thing I'm going to do with my purple is start to add some colour. So I've got my lightest colour, so the technique is exactly the same as before, and I'm doing little flicks to get some saturation and some blending. Really is important with this technique that you get a good saturation. You need wet ink. So that's the lightest colour. Then this is the darkest colour, preserving my highlight. Then the middle colour, bring that out into the first layer of light and stop. Then I go to my turquoise now, and I'm going in the opposite direction, turquoise with the lightest colour, then the darkest colour. And you see I'm starting to come over the purple there as I do that. I'm going to pick a bigger area to show you as well. And then the medium, and I'm coming down to the purple, overlaying the purple a little bit. And then I go back to my light, overlaying the purple, and now I've got a join between turquoise and purple. Let's pick a larger area to show you on. So we go with the light. Let's go with this one. And remember, you need saturation. So light, then the darkest colour over the top in the area where I really want it to be purple. There we go. Then the medium, just to flick that into that first light, not too much. If you go too far, you don't leave yourself any space to put your next colour, so be careful that you do that. Then at the opposite end, to bring the colour in here, we start with the turquoise, and we come over the top with flicks over the top of the purple a little bit, then with the darkest flicks to join up over the top of the purple. See how that's coming all the way down there now. Middle colour into the purple, lightest colour into there, and look at the ombre I'm able to build up between the purple and the turquoise. If you want to intensify that turquoise a little bit more, take your purple pen, go and flick back over the top, and then take your turquoise pen, join that back in. Look how quick and easy that was, and look how beautiful it looks. If I just pick that up and turn it around so you can really see it, you will see there how fabulous that is with that purple and turquoise joining together to get that really amazing ombre of the colours. That is how exceptional these pens are and how easy it is for you to achieve that at home. I'll just show you again. And this is where you definitely have to shut me up, because this is when I'm having a nice time just playing with the colouring. So I'm going lightest again, and then darkest. And actually with this, if you've got a small area, you can miss out the middle colour. So you can go light then dark, and then with your turquoise from the other end, you would go up dark. This is light, light. Notice how I'm coming back, I'm coming into the purple, then my dark, into and over the purple. I can add a little bit more purple in there if I want to intensify that. Flick that over into the turquoise, and look how easy these colours then start to blend together to get that lovely transition between purple and turquoise. Absolutely. And it can be any colours, it doesn't just have to be purple and turquoise. Let's go with the pink for this next one actually. So this is turquoise, and I'm going in the opposite direction now. So I've got turquoise here. Butterflies are never one colour, are they? Now I've got bright pink. Now can you see where the bright pink's coming over? It's turning into more of a purple colour, but they're still blending. And then I've got my turquoise. See that there? so I can start to build up those as well. So that's how you would do that on a butterfly. That's how we've managed to achieve that with those colours. So you're just flicking and overlaying the colours, and they'll start to mix a new colour for you on the page. Brilliant. Same with your cupcake. So you would just start with whichever colour you want to use first. Let's say a blue. So I'm going to pick up a blue and colour it in the same way that I've been showing you. So you've got light coming through here. And you've got your dark, your medium to join the two together, back to your light. And then we move on to another colour. So let's go purple now. So this purple is going, oh, is that my dark? Yep, wrong one, Leanne. So the lightest purple comes from the blue up, medium to join it together, darken your shaded area, light, and then I bring that purple layer just over the blue layer a little bit, so that joins the transition between the blue and the purple together. Now I could go with a pink if I wanted to. So bring the pink over the purple a little bit, get your first layer down, come in with the darkest colour, and I'm speed doing this. You'll take more time and patience at home, because I know I've got to look at the comments, tell you all about my top tips again, and then thank you for being with me for all of this time. I'm really grateful for that. It's wonderful that you spend the time with me. So there we go, build that one up there, and then we could move to the turquoise if we wanted to. So light, I think that was the darkest one. Whoops, don't worry. So if you do that at home, don't worry, if you get the wrong colour down first, just go in with your light and drag it down, and you'll be able to still get that ombre. You see that there? And then all I do is make sure that I bring that over a little bit on the pink at either side, and it joins it in so that the turquoise is following on from the pink. And that is literally all you do, building it all the way up to the top to get that result there. It's really, really easy to do. So you just keep joining the colours by overlaying them exactly as I did when I did that butterfly, and that's how you get that result there. That's how you use more than one colour when you're blending them together. I have had the best time. Really, I have. It's been wonderful spending the last 2 hours with you. Should have been an hour and a half, chatting about Tri-Blend markers. They really are the most fantastic marker and the most reliable marker. The fact that you've got, and let's just have a look at that little video again actually just before we go, the fact that you've got those 3 colours in there in this marker that you can see with your light, your medium and your dark tone all in the one barrel, all in the one chamber, gives you all of the colours you need to get that beautiful light to dark shade that you've been able to see me use all the way through these demonstrations. And that's having the 3 colours in the barrel for you. Makes colouring effortless with these markers. But you've seen how we can do skin, how we can do hair, how we can do florals, cylindrical teapots. You've seen the tiger, you've seen the cupcake, you've seen the butterfly, you've seen the cute little bunny. That's just a little soupçon of what you're going to be able to do with your stamps that you've got at home. And just be confident that because we've put them together as 3 pens in one essentially, so 24 markers here have 72 colours, you're going to be able to pick up any one of those pens and get a fantastic result. And I've loved being able to just share my top tips for how to get the best out of them. And I'd love to be able to see what you do with them at home when you're using them. Please do share your pictures with us, because I really do like to see your colouring. Right, so finally, let's have a little look, see if there's any questions I need to answer. Patty, you make it look like even I can do it. Patty, I absolutely promise you, you can. Get them and give it a go. Share your results. You're going to be so pleased. And then we've got... Time flies when you're having fun. It certainly does, Marianne. Thank you for sharing your knowledge. You're very welcome. It's my pleasure. I love nothing more than being able to do that. Alison says, this Facebook Live has been fantastic. I've learned so much. Thanks for all of your explanations. Really informative and fun. Well, thank you, Alison. And just lots of other people saying how much they feel confident now to go forward and use their alcohol Tri-Blend markers, which is brilliant news for me. Thank you very much. Don't forget to go along to the website, follow the little link down there, have a look at my favourites, leave your name, leave your email address, and then we will send you out a little email there, you can see there, so it takes you to Leanne's favourites. Scroll down, leave your name and your email address, tell us that you are happy for us to send you an email with the free downloadable content that we've got for colouring. Tell us you're not a robot, submit it, and then we're going to send you some free of charge downloader and colouring content, which were these, and they're fab, and you can resize them, so that's going to be brilliant. There's loads of them, they're really, really nice, so that's going to be very therapeutic and good to practice your colouring skills with. And we're also going to send you a voucher for some money off, a good voucher, one worth having, for some money off, so that you can use that on your next shop. All I have to do now is pick one of you. So I'm going to go right to the top, pick one of you to send out my little colouring bits to, so you can have them as an educational resource, or you can cut them up and make them into cards, finish them off, whatever it is. So scrolling, this person, and that is going to Heidi Hubener. Oh, fabulous name, Heidi. Heidi Hubener. Keep going, please. Really enjoying your demos and learning more about colouring in. Well, thank you for being one of my crew, Heidi, and telling me to keep going, so that when I get my appraisal later, I can say it was by popular demand. I really appreciate that. I've had a fantastic time. It's been brilliant talking to you about our tri-blend markers and everything that is possible to do with them. I hope it gives you confidence now to go forward and use them and really enjoy them. And I'll be back soon with another Facebook Live today, in fact, later on, but then I'll be with more educational ones later, maybe next week or the week after. So I'll be seeing you soon. Take care and enjoy your colouring. Have lots of crafty fun. Bye.